watch this. I'm about to make you trip, make you glitch, camera click, watch this, watch this. I put it like gold, check out the view. Out with the old, and in with the new. I'm in my new era. I'm better in my new era. I'm better in my new era.
Good afternoon and welcome to Shaftesbury Park for the final fixture of round 7 in the PWR. We're at the home of Bristol Bears women and they're stomping ground today to face a compelling Loughborough Lightning side. Currently sitting 8th in the table, Bristol are chasing their second win of the season, looking to give their home fans a reason to celebrate this afternoon. Loughborough arrive in the southwest off the back of a loss to the seismic Saracens and will be looking to put things right in today's fixture. Will it be a successful hunt for the Bears, or will Lightning rain down a storm on British soil? Well, hello and welcome to the final fixture of the PWR this weekend. And I'm joined by the wonderful Susie Appleby, 2 weeks in a row. How excited are you for this match?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I was just saying, when I saw the fixtures and I saw this one, what a mouth-watering competition we've got in store, and I thought, I wonder if I can be assigned to this one, and I have. So listen, Bristol against Loughborough Lightning, classic game this time last year on this turf, so it should be exactly the same today.
And Loughborough have been moving from strength to strength in the last few seasons. And we want to talk about their back row, incredibly young, but have made a huge impact in recent weeks.
Oh my gosh, I mean, Daisy Hibbert-Jones has been doing it for a couple of years now. She came up through the ranks. Sadia Kabea, I chatted to her when I chatted to Maisie Allen a few years ago down at Chiefs, but she chose Loughborough, and we've seen where she's gone to. She's a world champion. She was player of the match at the Allianz in the World Cup final. Wow. And then to add Ala Latui, my gosh, was a real powerhouse there. And what they're doing is they're finding their way and how each other works really well, and the balance between them is just very, very exciting. So yeah, 3 players to watch who are in imperious form.
And a special day for Bristol Bears in front of a home crowd, with Abby Ward, skipper, winning her 50th cap. How significant is her presence in this club?
She's huge. You can't overstate Abby's presence. Not just the fact that she leads the line out and she is an imperious line out leader, but her very presence on the field. She leads from the front. She leads in all her actions. I can't believe she's already on 50 caps, to be honest. She's come down here. You know, she won the thing up at Quinn. She came down here. She's managed to have a baby and win a World Cup, and today, yeah, absolutely well deserved that she's earning her 50th cap, and I hope it's a really good day for Abby.
Well, we're looking forward to this one, and I caught up earlier today with our head coaches. Scott, great to be back on Bristol soil. How much are you looking forward to today's match?
Yeah, really, we've had a really good training week. It's good to be back at Shaftesbury Park. So we played at Ashton Gate, which is always a good experience, but we've not been back here since round 3, so yeah, delighted to be back at home at Shaftesbury.
And a word on your incredible captain Abby Ward getting her 50th cap today in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, she's been brilliant since returning from the World Cup, which was obviously hugely successful. She's driven the group. Like, we've not had the results we wanted, but she's been outstanding and sort of driving the group, driving standards and trying to improve us as a whole.
Great. And this week you announced another formidable signing for the Bears, Canadian international Pamphlet Bawisa. What are you hoping that she brings to this side?
Just that international experience, which is great for this young group. We've had a lot of young players playing the last 2 or 3 weeks, so having that experience, like, she's obviously got a sevens background and she'll be really good in those wide channels, suit the way we play, but also her kind of physicality. So yeah, a really exciting signing for us, and we're looking forward to seeing her on the pitch.
Go well today.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thanks. Nathan, a massive clash at the Stoneheads last week. Perhaps that scoreline doesn't reflect the performance of your side, but what have you learned from that Saracens game as you face Bristol this afternoon?
Yeah, we took some real positives out, especially the middle section. So 20 minutes, 60-minute period, I thought we were the better side. We just started the game slowly, so that's something that we want to rectify today.
And we're expecting a physical battle today, and you have some relentless ball carriers, none more so than Haniala Latui. How important would the forwards' effort be today in keeping on that front foot?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. If you don't go forward, your attack's not going to work. So essentially, we're really fortunate at the moment to have the likes of Ala, May and Sadia really putting us on the front foot to allow our attack to unfold. So I'm hoping for the same again. But, you know, Bristol will be hoping to stop us.
Yeah, and you've had a win here already at Shaftesbury Park in 2025, but historic standings favour the Bears. How important is it to start strong today to come out on top here?
Yeah. The start's huge. Like they've had a tough start to the season. If we can start well, you start to put a little bit of doubt in their mind. If they start well, then you know they're breeding confidence. So we're really hoping to start off on the front foot.
How are you expecting the conditions to affect things today? It's a bit windy, but it's sunny.
Yeah, it's quite standard weather down here. Swirling wind, sunshine, but 4G pitch, so there won't be a lot of excuses. We're pretty happy with the conditions.
Great, thanks for your time.
Thanks very much. See you later.
Great to hear the thoughts there of Scott Lawson and Nathan Smith. And it's just a few minutes until kick-off now, so I'll hand you over to our commentary team, Joe Burns and Susie Appleby.
Thank you, Joe. And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the West Country. Welcome to Shaftesbury Park, home of the Bristol Bears. But so too the Dings Crusaders. They got up 41-24 against the Leicester Lions here yesterday. So the Bears will be hoping to make it a West Country double over the Midlands today. And this is how they're shaping up. The big headline news is Captain Abby Ward, 50th appearance as a Bear for the Rugby World Cup winning Red Rose, a Premiership winner with Quins back in the day, and an absolute force of nature for these Bristol Bears. Evie Gallagher has been tearing up trees and turning over for fun throughout the season. Hannah Bottoman is another World Cup winner in there. And Tilly Ryle, emerging as a halfback for the Bristol Bears, is partnered with a former World Rugby Player of the Year, Ruahei Demant. How exciting for her, and what a partnership to be excited for. Millie David and Reniqua Bonnet, those two are just electric, and Savannah Picton-Powell is certainly one to watch today and for the future in the centres. Aisha Jart is another young up-and-comer, still a teenager, huge prospect at tight head prop, and we're denied the opportunity to see Pamphonette Buisa today. She's been removed late in the day from the bench, and instead Talia John will wear the number 19 jersey. Seren Singleton will get her first PWR action of the season. Well, for Lightning, you heard it there, we just did touch on it. Daisy Hibbert-Jones is the captain, and she is also one part of a trio of terrors in the back row. They are young, they are physical, and Hainiala Latui is a revelation. How high is her ceiling? Sadia Kabir, well, you know everything you need to know about her. Player of the final as the Red Roses claim that crown. And May Sangapolu has been whacking people ever since she turned up from Tigers. Alicia Maud, she's taking the reins at halfback because Leah Brebner-Holden is looking at a long-term injury. And in the centres, the classy pairing of Carmela Morale and Alif Kelter have got the skills, they've got the biff to release the wide talents, including Bulu Matayonga, who was the only change to the starting 15 today from last week's match. On the bench, Megan Davey is Loughborough Lightning till she dies, and Kendall Warby brings plenty of dynamism herself, wearing 22. So Lightning are out, and Shaftesbury Park and the stand is filled, and it's filled with anticipation, with the Bears desperate for a victory, languishing 8th in the table up against Lightning, who are riding high in 4th before the weekend started, but they've been shunted down to 6th after victories for the Trailfinders and Harlequins. And you look at the youthful profile of Lightning, but you also look at the quality. Lily Ice-Campion there, another World Cup winner, and just 22 years old. So Lightning are out, and they're being made to wait because the Bears replacements are making a guard of honour for not just their captain, but their half-centurion, Abby Ward, leading out the Bears in the blue and white for the 50th time. How she would love to lead these Bears to the Premiership crown that she claimed as a Quinn. Totemic for the Bears. And her team, Susie Appleby, would love to deliver a W for her on their big day.
Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right there. And what a feast we should have in store today. Two teams, yes, Bristol haven't hit their straps yet, but they're back at home. It's Abby Ward's 50th cap. I think we could expect a good performance today, and that's what Scott Lawson and his girls will be hoping for.
Mike Hudson is the man in the middle, and if you can't see the Woods from the touchlines, that's because Hollywood and Mike Woods are the assistants today, but we'll keep you in check throughout.
Find it. Yeah.
Rehe Demants gets us underway after a shrill blast of the Sunday service whistle, and Aliv Kelter takes some metres through contact. Christiana Balogun getting her first taste of a tackle on this slightly leaden afternoon. It's been glorious blue, crisp skies, but certainly the conditions purpose made for the expansive game and skills of the likes of Carmela Morale, who just makes a half break, and already Lightning flashing it through the hands and finding their USA Eagle returning Matayonga. Morale stepping in at first receiver. Hainiala Lutui gets dealt with. Haven't seen that too many times across this season, and kudos to Evie Gallagher for landing the shot.
Absolutely, and you can just see there that Ala just had to slightly check on her catch, and that forced her back inside. And for Evie Gallagher, that's exactly what she wants. Someone falling at her feet, massive opportunity to do what she does at her very best, which is jackal the ball and get a first turnover.
Yeah, Evie Gallagher, 4 turnovers in the last round, leads the league in defensive rucks hit. So it's that blend of poaching and industry, and with just over a minute played already, looks like someone's picked up a scrape.
But Joe, you can see how Loughborough want to play. They want to make a statement. They wanted to play out of their own 22. Do they want to be pragmatic? No, they want to play ball. They want to be exciting. But, it's that pragmatism versus, let's move the ball. Let's do something exciting. Let's get the balance right.
Loughborough, just here when you...
Susie, what about Shaftesbury Park as somewhere to come and play? How did you find coming up here rather?
Really difficult, Joe, I have to say. I mean, we've made mention of the wind. It's always windy here. It blows in all different directions. It's and generally up and down the field. Obviously, these guys train here, so you'd expect them to be quite au fait with it. But yeah, it's a challenging place to come. Obviously, a plastic surface, which is great for some, not so great for others.
Well, Lightning will be used to the crisp surface. Oh, and it needed a bit of crisp service there. But what a pick-up and bosh from Emma Orr. Really made the most of it. And the quick line speed just shuts down that building attack. Sadia Kabea racing up. And now Hainiala Lutui manages to get a run up and steamrolls Amy Dale. Matayonga, nice feet from the returning Eagle. That had too much fizz and too far in front of Sangapolu. A little bit error-strewn.
Yeah, and there's Sadia making her statement of intent. As soon as that 9 is going to field the pass, she is out of the blocks. And you can see there is no time for Evie Gallagher to even catch that ball before Sadia is right on her. So, you can see where this game's going to go. Sadia is going to be all over people.
Do you know what always shocks me is that Sadia's still only 23. I feel like she's been around for an eternity, just getting better and better and better. But, I mean, there's at least a decade more to enjoy of her.
Well, at least that, yeah. And she's showing the maturity of a player that's been around for 20 years. Not just in the way she plays on the field, but the way she speaks and conducts herself off the field. She's an absolute credit to herself.
Lutui breaks, and Lutui drags a bear along with her for the ride. No one kicks it quite like Loughborough in this league. And you would have felt that a relieving touch might have been sought there, but instead Ella Loverbond is picked out. Former England Sevens player, and Demant gets going, just ghosting through that hole before getting swallowed up by some African violet jerseys. Bears looking sharp in these opening salvos. Gallagher bounces back in to the heavy hitting traffic. Demant just orchestrating things, and then it gets loose as it tries to reach the 15-metre channel. Wonderful physicality from Jenny Herring. And now Ward, the half centurion, linking up with her fellow Red Rose Bottomman. Was there a better player across the entire tournament than Hannah Bottomman? Penalty advantage for Bristol as Orr skips through the first challenge.
And see how Loughborough are trying to defend. They're trying to jump up on and force the players back inside to allow Jackal opportunities, but just over eager on this occasion and giving away the penalty, which invites an entry into the attacking 22. So second entry, we'll have to see if Bristol Bears can convert this opportunity this time.
And Susie, entries is something that you and I spoke of off air. I mean, that was, well, critical and almost criminal for the Bears last week against Chiefs.
Yeah, they gave themselves plenty of opportunities. They just couldn't quite convert it. A lot of it down to Chiefs' defensive efforts, but also their inaccuracy. So I'm sure it's stuff that they've worked on this week.
Well, they're not hanging around here, and they're building a block of blue that only Lily Ives Campion seems to be dealing with at the moment. Long limbs wrapped around Amy Dale. Bit of confusion on which runner was due to receive that, but it's still there for the Bristol Bears. This is the start that they and Scott Lawson would have wished for. Balogun sent to the deck. Then it's the turn of Eliane Clark. Real power in the legs to keep on driving through the hits. And now Cunningham takes two, lightning to stop her, and Shaftesbury Park begins to hum with approval and anticipation. Balogun is slotted by Kabea. Bottomman thinks about giving it, sold it enough, drives to the paint, still not quite there. One out they go. Desperate, disciplined defence from Lightning, who are staying on side at the back feet, although that boot certainly isn't. Lost in the scrap. Pick and go. Bristol Bears denied once more. It is simple, it's unglamorous, but it's sustained. Now they go wide. Oh, Sab Picton-Powell is ended en route to the line, but still there for the Bears. Out to the edge, Reniqua Bonner with a winger's finish. She had so much to do still, but those feet, that pace, that fend. Bears break the deadlock with some brilliant team attacking play.
And we saw last week, we've talked about it, the number of entries that they took into Chiefs 22, but they just couldn't come out with points. Clinical, patient, effective in those movements there. They're playing on advantage. Rui Demant decides to pull the trigger, gives the ball to Reniqua Bonner. As you said, Joe, lots of work still to do, but electric feet to just in and out and go around and do what all good wingers do. But Reniqua Bonner does it in her sleep. Absolutely fabulous try. Well taken.
So Ruahei Demant here on this 4-month deal. Sees the ball topple over. Had the run-up started, well, the chaser had been sent back. She runs out of time and, well, runs out of steps back to generate the power in this tricky win. So it'll just be a 5-pointer, but Reniqua Bonner doing what Reniqua Bonner does so well.
Yeah, and that'll be a really, really good settler. Nice little confidence boost, and hopefully they can push that into the next few minutes and beyond towards half-time.
Look, she scored a hat-trick in 8 minutes against Lightning last October, so we'll set our watches and check back with you 16 minutes into the game. My Bears have started in such slick fashion, everybody knowing what their role is, and there's no fear in the way that they're tossing it about. Balogun on the spin, then stretches her legs all the way up to the 10. Eliane Clark really has to thrash through those challenges. The man on the angle, well covered off by Lucia Scott, joined Lightning this season, and she's already making waves. Oh, loses the ball though after all that good work, but nefarious acts on the floor and an opportunity for Loughborough to maybe find their way into the Bristol 22 for the first time.
And you can see her at demand, just seeing an opportunity, changing the direction, seeing an opportunity in that right-hand side of the field to just push it down there, but really well fielded by Lucia Scott, who's been very, very impressive thus far this season. Made about 30 yards herself. Indiscretion by Evie Gallagher, and good field possession, good opportunity.
First official entry, Lucy Calladine. Well, she's had a couple of errant opening throws in matches this season, and you'll find a few more unforgiving venues than Shaftesbury Park. We touched on this wind, which would disorientate a windsock, and that one is wildly off.
Yeah, it's tricky for kickers, it's tricky for hookers. It's, you know, it's the reason why you get out ahead of the game and you get used to the wind, you feel the conditions, so that when you get into these moments, you can make the moments count. But Lucy Calladine has got a really good start to the season. She's settled in really well. She's keeping an international hooker out of the starting 15. So, you know, she'll be pleased, and Nathan will be really pleased with how she's running this season.
The Lightning scrum in the ascendancy, and that is challenging work for Royal. What a fabulous job Evie Gallagher's done there. In retreat at some knots, and managing to make it beyond the 22. Demand offering a bit of width, and the ball just delayed and popped off at the right time. Millie David, not enough room to express her pace. A couple of truly electric wingers on each edge for Bristol today. Deep to Demand. And Lucia Scott is going to get another opportunity to slalom through some blue jerseys. Balogun is shirked off, and Lightning can build. Well, it slips through the grip once more, and it is Lightning who are just fumbling around for some fluency at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, just a couple of passes caught on the shoulder, caught in behind, and that is stemming their fluency.
Beautiful pop after riding through the hit. Bears pouring through, Bottoman all alone, but just has the composure of a fly half at times, doesn't she? By Westcombe Evans sniffed an intercept, but just beyond her reach.
Yeah, and you can see where Demant's seeing the space, that just really wants to get the ball out into that fast channel, out into Renika Bonner's hands again. But just a little touch by Bo Westcombe Evans there, just a little knock on. But Bears, this is looking more like their DNA, more like, you know, their fluency, their skill sets, their willingness and their ability to keep ball in hand and make progress up the field. And again, I think they'll be really pleased with these opening moments in this game.
You speak about that DNA, that way that we're used to the Bears playing. Why have they struggled to discover it this season so far?
Well, I think there's a challenge of a lot of different faces. You know, if you look at the 10, 12, 13 combination, that's very, very different to Holly Aitchison, Amber Reid, Phoebe Murray out with a long-term injury. You know, that's difficult to try and then blend. But, you know, Demant is really making a mark. She's starting to find her feet. She's also mixing the game up really well. It's not just a passing game and a running game. It's a run-kick-pass game, which is brilliant to see. And, you know, seeing Emma Orr on the ball then, wow, she's such an exciting prospect.
Bonner, already a try, but the switch is a bit tight. And now it's Bristol spun on their heels. Cabella outstrips every back, chasing after that ball. And, well, hurriedly, touch is sought, but it is straight out. And Lightning will have the throw just on the outskirts of the Bears 22.
Yeah, and just the commentator's curse there when we're saying how fluid they're looking, how their skill sets are connecting, little ball on the floor, and, you know, it's a tricky surface. If you put boot to ball, you're going to end up 50 metres behind where you started.
Emma Orr is doing a fine job of playing the Phoebe Murray role, isn't she, in that 13 jersey. Couple of tries at the Rugby World Cup against Fiji and Wales. And she was scoring against Chiefs last week too. But she's on defensive duty now as Sangapolu is deployed on a short line. But a prior knock-on. Obviously something happened at the bottom of that breakdown, and well, Lightning will be licking their lips because they are looking dominant at the moment. There's no Sarah Byrne, remember, for the Bears. And, of course, Lark Atkin-Davis getting some fabulous news in the week. It's a lot of onus on Amy Dale and Eliane Clark, despite the experience alongside them of Hannah Bottoman.
Yeah, Amber Reid saying just before the game, 4 international hookers unavailable for Bristol Bears. That's quite something, isn't it? So a massive opportunity here, Joe. You've just touched on it for Loughborough. Scrum goes down, 18 people scrummaging, therefore backs on backs. Backs licking their lips. Hannah Nelson having a good look. Information will be coming in from Elev Kelter. What space is she seeing? What's the backfield looking like? What's the front line looking like? And where can we really have a go at and expose?
In a position like this, Susie, will everybody know where it's going to go, or is everyone running an option that Helen Nelson is going to pick at the last moment?
Helen Nelson will have called something, and they'll all have their specific lines, and then one of them will boss it up when they see the space in front of them. That's how it should work. Let's see if it goes like that.
It's Carmela Morale who takes it on the pop from Alicia Maud. Really sparky presence at the base, Alicia Maud. And fighting through the contact for just any gain, even half a metre. Then it's Sangapolu. Some of the big destroyers being sent into the Bristol Bears ranks. Sadia Kabea just buries her head into 2 would-be defenders, and the failure to roll is why the presentation's messy, and Lightning are right at the Bear gates. Tough on Savannah Picton-Powell there. She's scrambling to get out after having made that tackle. Sangapolu is blasted through the hole by her teammates. The velocity of Sangapolu propelled through with Ice Campion on her back. Too fierce to repel. And just like that, Loughborough Lightning are level.
I think that's been good build-up by Loughborough Lightning. They've been in this half of the field for a little while now. May Sangapolu is loving her move from Leicester Tigers into a into a pack where she's really finding her feet. She's really finding her ability and is able to get on the ball nice and often. And you can see it then. That's a tap and play, and she goes over from close range. But, you know, Bristol Bears will be disappointed with that. They should have been able to repel her, no matter that she's a very powerful player. You don't want to be conceding scores like that. But, again, patient build-up by Loughborough Lightning, and they'll be pleased to be on the scoreboard now.
Well, they're not just on the scoreboard. They are ahead on the scoreboard. Thanks to Helen Nelson. It is a full 7-pointer. And Sangapolu, well, a little too easy for the Lightning tight head. The man sends it long, and Lightning just want to attack. Alif Kelter meets her match in Christiana Balogun, she's a bringer of chaos in terms of the way she throws her body into other humans. Cabella, lines too tight there from Caladine. It's one of her specialties, the way that she arrives from depth and pace. But this time, it creates a turnover opportunity for the Bears. No one turns it over more than them in the PWR. And true to type, they're using it to bring in their deadly runners like Millie David, who is slammed by Cabella. Carry from Amy Dale. To Man, to Bottoman. They get beyond Kelter's outside centre channel, and again Westcombe Evans sniffing, but can only knock on. Bristol Bears under pressure, advantage being played. That is an awkward upending in the ruck, and no clear roll from Sangapolu. Bristol with the penalty.
And you can see Bristol Bears endeavour to play. They want to play ball. They want to move the ball into those outside channels. You can see Alev Kelter was up in the passing lane then. So Demant tried to just push that ball over the top. But, yeah, just spillage. And this pitch is amazing. But actually, you know, the ball goes on the floor. We've just touched on it. You can end up 40 metres backwards, which is where Bristol ended up. But another opportunity coming now.
Slick off the top, and in a flash into the midfield. Just died on the tips of Picton Powell's fingers. Not the ball that she was asking for. Not enough spin on it, and just getting sort of held up in this wind, I think.
Yeah, and this is where you do your drills as a 9, you know, up and coming especially. You need to get that connection with Demand as crisp as you can. And you've got to deal with what goes on around the breakdown. You know, there's bodies everywhere, but you've got to be able to jump out and get away from that breakdown and move that ball. On that occasion, Tilly Ryle's pass just dies a little.
Picton Powell, by the way, she's a product of Cardiff Met University, who were the first Welsh university to win Bucks Super Rugby, male or female, last year. She was player of the semi-final, player of the final. And I know that the coaching staff here have been so impressed by her hunger to succeed, her desire to be as professional as possible. And she's coming up against some star turns, including Morale and Kelter. Kelter weaving her way through the blue jerseys of Bristol. Sangapolu from range. Long run up, big dent. And now options either side. Morale slips it out the back. Beautiful feet to avoid the javelin that was Balogun. And it is outstanding on the deck as well.
And that's where Hannah Bottoman is so good. She makes great decisions on the ball. If there's a ball that's exposed, slightly exposed, Hannah Bottoman is going to be on it.
You just see her just watching it all the way as the feet were dancing around. It's predatory from her.
But Joe, you mentioned Savannah Picton-Powell, and then you look opposite at Carmela Morale. So two amazing players that have come through the Bucks programme, and you see the importance of both pathways, and the pathways indeed and throughout the PWR League.
Yeah, they faced up against each other in that final. In fact, a classic between Cardiff Met and Loughborough, and Loughborough, there's such a core of theirs that have gone through that uni pathway, and Reniqua Bonner is showing us her pace out wide once more. Bottoman takes it at first receiver, just tips it on, and fighting through the contact goes Herring, side down brilliantly by Matt Ayonga, but kept alive by the Bears, flashing it to where there's space. Gallagher dumped by Cabella.
Tackle off! Tackle!
And Lightning have managed to circle the wagons. The man, Bottoman, Herring, who's having a barnstorming game. Bonner, Reniqua Bonner, cut down just short of her second. Bristol, as good a position as they've been since their opening score that came through Bonner. Short line from the half centurion. Gets a bit of treatment from her England teammate, but manages to hold on despite there being three Lightning players. Latui goes off her feet, transferred in the tackle, so nearly there for the Bears. Bottoman, and another penalty advantage coming. They'll go to the width, they'll go to demand, they'll go to Orr, who will pierce the last line of Loughborough defence. There'd be no stopping the Scotswoman. And the Bears, with a blitzkrieg attack, recapture the league at Shaftesbury Park.
And Joe, do you know where that started? That started with a turnover by Hannah Bottoman when the team was under pressure. Kick to the line, good line-out play. Hannah Bottoman throws a 15-metre pass off her left hand in the middle of the field to Reniqua Bonner, who makes 20 metres up that far touchline. And then Loughborough never recover from that. They never recover. Yeah, and that's exactly what they want. Your big players really having big moments. So Hannah Bottoman in that occasion, and then Emma Orr just doing simple things, but doing them really, really well.
The man takes no chances and gets a helping hand to steady the ball on the tee this time. And she makes no mistake from right in front. Bristol have a dozen to Loughborough's 7. And what about Herring? She is having a hell of a first half.
Well, we talked about the Loughborough back row, but Jenny Herring has had some key moments already. We know what Evie Gallagher can do, but wow, Jenny Herring combining with that. And it's just, you know, those kind of combinations that have such critical moments that affect the game.
Bonner, full of running, full of bounce on the balls of her feet. The man just dictating things with such elegance. Tricky ball for Picton-Powell. Not sure if it was intended for her. Makeshift chip through from Bonner, breaking up nicely. This is what the crowd and we love to see. It's what these two teams are capable of. It could be a real tri-fest if it opens up. Nelson goes to Cabella, who's been all out defence. Kelter puts the footwork on Bottoman, accelerates through the hole and takes some stopping when you do get a hold of her jersey. Lovely late bounce off the right boot from Rachel Arecki. But somehow it's been pinched. And Millie David, her eyes are going to light up at the prospect, but she's a marked woman by Cabella.
Okay, leave it now, no hands. All right. Bristol, stop in front. Hold.
The man doesn't find touch, finds her opposite number. Nelson goes back inside.
Play on.
Bit light on resources in terms of the clear out, but Lightning do manage to come away with it. Latui, quiet first 40 minutes for the number 8, Morale. Balogun ain't buying that. And then the Jackal, outstanding, the back row working in tandem. Evie Gallagher, the 8, capitalising on the work of her 6. And now the Bears are in full flight. Oh, that's as good a dummy as you'll see anywhere on planet rugby. Coast to coast from the brilliant Bears who are coming to life here on Sunday afternoon at Shaftesbury Park.
Wow, and that's finished by Ella Levybond, but created in the middle of the field by the brilliance of Rue Demant. Just looking up, seeing space, and again, that Bristol DNA, seeing the space, having the confidence in their skill sets to move the ball to space. Yeah, I think Lashia Scott won't be enjoying seeing that play in the replay. Sold by Ella Levybond, who's having she had a good week last week in a difficult game. Much improved from 2 weeks ago, and today she's having some moments. But this is a Bristol Bears side that are growing in confidence. You know, we're on the half hour mark, and we've got 3 tries for Bristol Bears. They're going to be pleased with this.
Well, her reward is a face in the 4G, keeping the ball from toppling over for Rue Demant. That's the work at the back row, though, as well. You rightly highlighted it, that we were lauding Cabella, Latui and Hibbert-Jones, but the combination of Balogun, Herring and Gallagher creating that. Though I think that Levybond does deserve an awful lot of credit for the way she finished that.
But you see where that start point was? It was an Evie Gallagher turnover, another one.
Balogun showing what she can do with ball in hand, and another welcome penalty for the hosts.
I think Loughborough Lightning are having a conversation about discipline. There's too many penalties, and they're quite soft penalties at the moment. They need to sort their discipline out. Again, young players they're not evil, I was going to use the word, but they're not misintended. They're just over enthusiastic and just getting decisions wrong. So I think that'll be a key conversation when they get into the sheds at half time.
Well, the transfer down was an absolute devil for Tilly Ryle. I don't think that she can shoulder any blame for that knock-on. Although she's visibly beating herself up about it.
Yeah, and again, it's as a young player, let's move forward, let's forget that moment. And I can see her teammates getting around her saying, it's okay, it's all right, let's focus on what's coming next. It's a long 80 minutes, you can't dwell in those moments of things that don't go quite right. Let's focus on the things that are going really, really well for you.
Yeah, she hasn't had tons of rugby in recent years for the Bears, but there's a real feeling that she's really stepped up this season, and she's showing real intent, real growth. She's working harder than ever off the pitch as well. And well, it's timely with the injury to Kira Bevan too. What a partner to have alongside her in the Blackburn, Demant, Morale, Silky. Nelson can't quite drive away from Picton Powell, who clings on. Latui, lovely late lift into the path of Ives Campion, who drives on, despite being clambered upon by two Bears. Sangapolu only knows one way, and that is forward to the short side. Morale.
No hands now. Stay.
Lightning looking to punch a hole. Calladine with a trademark line. Into the heart of the Bears, 22. Composure required. Space out wide, but they carry short. Bears folding round, and Morale with just Cabella on the shoulder injects herself into that gap. Ives Campion, part of the forward presence that got them going up to this point. Sangapolu.
Move one. Keep going. Stay there, good.
Loughborough building pressure.
Far side, stay. Hold it.
And now
No hands, stay. Push.
pumping the brakes and taking the pace down and reverting to their power. Carrying in bunches. Bears dealing with it for the time being. They lurch to the line. The referee on his knees, and the try is awarded. Simple stuff, and well, Sadia Cabella looks to be getting the plaudits. She has tackled everything all day, but, well, no, it's May Sangapolu who's being credited with the try. I mean, I don't know. It could have been anyone's. It was a whole heap of bodies, but the main thing is that Loughborough have scored, and they needed to respond quickly, didn't they?
Yeah, and what it was a build-up, a very patient build-up. It looks like there's a message, come on, let's do the simple things really well. Let's get our physicality into the game. Let's get our big carries in. So saw a really nice line break by Lucy Calladine, who, as we've already talked about her, she's been fantastic this season already. We're seeing Sadia Cabella on the ball. We're seeing May going over the try line, but actually it's just really well organised. Everybody knows their roles. The simple things are done really well. The clear out is really effective. That means that we can get fast ball into the scrum half's hands, and it's not a complicated game. If you keep hold of the ball, you're going to get over the try line. The patience is going to tell, and we've got a game on our hands for sure.
Well, that's what she's all about, Lucy Calladine. That's what Nathan Smith loves about her, those lines that she strikes. And that burst got in behind the Bears, and it was indeed May Sangapolu bagging herself a brace.
Just over 4 to go. Okay, that is a little bit, that's a little bit out. So it's about 4 to go. 4 to go. 4 to go. 4 to go, girls. 4.
Kelter booms that one back. Lovey Bond, another dummy, doesn't mind it in that 15-metre channel.
Oh, sorry.
And Bottoman makes a rare error.
Yeah, you certainly don't see that very often. I'm surprised at these restarts, Joe. Like, Ray DeMant has got an amazing player in Emma Orr. I first spotted her on the Sevens circuit. I'm sure you've seen her play as well. She can get restarts back for you. So when they're playing into this really strong wind, I'm surprised they're probably not looking for a contest and looking to have, the ability to potentially get the ball back from the restart.
Yeah, she's got a bit of height on her and a terrific leap as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's got amazing aerial skills. So, as I said, last week they were sticking them on the 10 and looking for someone to come and get the ball back, but going along with this one. But, yeah, a little unforced error from Hannah Bottoman there.
Set! Oh, keep it up! Keep it up! Use it, 9!
Out the back it goes. Loughborough, Westcombe Evans has been living off scraps out there on the left edge, but finds herself some work out on the right. And it's another turnover in the claws of the Bears. DeMant looks outside, sees she's got no friends alongside her. And Ives Campion chews her up. David, there's palpable excitement every time she gets her hands on the ball. They haven't offered her much space today, though, so far, Lightning. Bottoman. But what strength to ride out that initial blast from Sangapolu. Gallagher's had a brilliant first half. Picton Powell just rips it off the left, gives Bonner the space she needs, and she just dances through those challenges with such balance. Ward has to head back inside. Deman, just the step from Ryle, takes a bit of time away from her, but still the Bears find a way wide, and Herring can't run through the challenges of Kabea and Matayonga. Bottoman dished up by her opposition front row. And Demant spots a bit of undefended green grass with Bristol going nowhere, and probably the right call there.
Yeah, that's where your international experience comes to the fore, isn't it? They've gone to one side of the field, come back to the other, not really making any ground. Let's not get stuck in this middle area of the field, the middle third. Just turn the pressure back onto Loughborough. Yes, you give them back the ball, but you also make them make decisions.
Advantage. Contact in here. Contact in here.
Well, Bristol need to be careful here. It's gone a little flat in Shaftesbury Park just as we're approaching the half-time. But they've got a strike play to defend here, and it could undo all their hard work, but Lucy Calladine from the same side once again launches that ball on the outside shoulder of her jumper. So the opportunity spurned.
Line out option. Line out option, guys, numbers.
It's an interesting call from Abby there, isn't it? In this challenging wind, they've gone for the line out rather than taking the scrum.
4.
I mean, Evie Gallagher has done an unbelievable job of picking up and making meters when in reverse.
That is time, yeah.
Well, it's an awkwardly transferred ball around the Bears' hands, but they've done enough to get this off the pitch. Well, no. They're saying to Bo Westcombe Evans and the African Violet, come and have one last run. Matayonga gets cut in half by Emma Orr in the crosshairs and buried the left shoulder.
That is time.
Scrappy as Nelson takes it to the cusp of the halfway line, and eventually it's Alicia Maud who says enough's enough, let's get in the sheds. It's a half-well 4, and it is a game in the balance. 5 tries shared between the Bears and Lightning. 2 to the visitors, 3 to the hosts. And we are enjoying ourselves at Shaftesbury Park because nobody knows which way this one's going to go. Half-time here, it is Bristol Bears 19, Loughborough Lightning 14.
Amory just keeps hold of things and causes a little bit of an issue here for Tigers as they're opened up on the left-hand side. Here's Laughlin, cuts in. Vicky Laughlin already seeking the try line, and Trailfinders opening up. Up at the front goes Brinkat on her return to the PWR after a long, lengthy layoff. Former Worcester Valkyrie, and she's leading the Trailfinders towards the line here. It's splintering for Tigers. They do defend it, however. Zachary picks and goes and rolls, and he's down. Amory sizes up the defence and sees Gallagher on the inside. Neve Gallagher stretches away, and it's another for the Trailfinders. Bradley wants to use it. Crossfield from Amory. There's an awful lot of space here. Laughlin is there, and this bounces up, and no one can stop her from that position. Amory knows where the space is. It's Gallagher who has it, and then she opens things up. Boatman is the next in line. It just goes to ground, then the try comes. Lovely step from Lingham, that's delightful. Now a chance for the Tigers to get themselves on the scoreboard here. Gunter puts the ball on the edge to Kasakova, who'll score it.
Never on the ball. Penalty advantage, number 4.
Trailfinders starting to fizz in the second half now. Brooke Bradley takes it quickly, she's off. Bradley sees the line herself and she's over. The pace is simply too high for Tigers. Blanco with an excellent throw as well. Pulls it back. Norman Bell leaves it with Blanco for now, and Blanco is heading off, and Blanco is scoring!
She's dived on the ball. No, she's dived on the ball.
Norman Bell giving us a lot to think about right now as she steps through and adds another. Bitter goes herself, Kristen Bitter barges her way through. Norman Bell jumps over a couple of bodies to feed Meta, and she's reaching and scoring.
Set.
Sudden, Wolf tails her up, and Macaulay plays scrum half. That's their modus operandi. So many numbers. Who wants it? Lincoln's with the fix, and then the carry up to within the 5 metres.
Granzotto does a brilliant job defensively there, just managing all of those numbers.
Sarries, ball in hand, try scored. Well, here comes a genuine maul. It's Wall at the heart of it, that hot pink scrum cap and all the muscle you could wish for. Maloney McDonald has it at the base. The drums ring out at Sandy Park. Flat ball onto Tessier, who slides and scores.
Hands up.
Here comes a Macaulay who's got the start of a sprinter. The arms of Inspector Gadget. And the try to go with it.
Nice and easy.
Apps finding Evans on an incisive line. Evans with one to beat with Macmillan in support. And that, a richly deserved score for Saracens' beloved cup captain Lou Macmillan.
Hands away, behind the line.
Sarries with a free hit. They can spin it out if they fancy. This for the bonus point. This to ensure whatever happens, they won't leave here empty-handed. There it is.
Solo again, popped off, switch of direction, they come back round the other side, nice going, a little dinker cross, can they get on the end of this? Oh, it needs to be controlled, beautifully done by Rona Lloyd. Packer, wide, still wide, driving on. Packer again, stretching out to the far side. Still Harlequins, can they get there? Not on this occasion. Last one to Kildan, she's over the line. Good. Quins decide to use the backs. Cromack, space out wide. This time it goes to Wilcott. Wilcott backing herself and scoring! Still advantage. Pick and go, Parry. Sale defending for everything. Parry again, try. There's the ball on the floor. Was it knocked on? Referee's happy. Play on. Still penalty advantage. Oh, straight over the top. Is that Connie Powell? Has she got it down? Yes! Huge tackle going in by Michele Tu'u. Casolo. We're playing advantage here. Quinn's offside. Sale may as well have a go. Pass it out. They keep going. That's the one. Lovely stuff. Shona Campbell touches down.
New era.
So that was all the action from yesterday. We're flying solo on this Sunday down at Shaftesbury Park. We are going to show you in a moment the highlights from the game that we've enjoyed here. Hi everybody there, this is me and this is Susie, and we're enjoying ourselves. Look, we're just in highlights of that round there, Susie, and I'm just thinking about the bonus point that Quinn's managed to get against Sale. I'm just looking at the league table, and we're talking before, it feels like this league is as competitive as it's ever been in terms of that anyone can beat anyone, and precious bonus points like that are going to come into the reckoning later in the season, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are, and bonus points have always been important, but I think people are now really sensing the urgency to grasp hold of those bonus points. So Sale Sharks, we watched them play a good game yesterday but not quite come out with a win, but they've been picking up bonus points. You know, the first 2 games they got 4 tries, they keep scoring 4 tries and getting bonus points, so that's brilliant for Holly and her gang. And you know, I don't know how many tries we're going to see here, but nobody's got a bonus point yet. But that's what the conversation in the changing room will be. Let's make sure we get out and score some tries and make sure we're coming away with points.
Well, we're close to it, aren't we? Let's have a look at them, because there's been a hell of a lot to enjoy in this first half of action, and it's been a real blend and physicality, like right from the get-go. But then the composure that's accompanied it, and Reniqua Bonnet, every time she gets the ball, you just think something's going to happen, don't you?
Yeah, Bo Westcombe Evans is no slouch as a defender, but Reniqua Bonnet's feet were filthy then. Distribution from inside was fabulous as well.
You sort of feel this is the one that's going to hurt Bristol Bears. They're going to look back and say, like, Sangapolu's a good carrier, but this is a bit soft.
Yeah, your try line's absolute gold, isn't it? You know, May should not be driving over from 5 metres out. You know, you've got the time to get organised, to get everything sorted, and yeah, they'll be disappointed with that.
But after so Lightning were looking like they might be building a little, because they recaptured, well, they took the lead for the first time through the conversion from Helen Nelson, but the Bears came fighting back. Emma Orr's been outstanding. I've just loved watching her all game.
I think she's built into this game. She's built into the season. She's now getting used to, you know, playing with the half-backs around her, which is brilliant. So, yeah, Emma Orr, great try.
And I love that our director's showing us the full version of this, because the genesis of this break was from the back row working hard, but get ready for the greatest dummy of all time.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Evie Gallagher, we talked about both back rows and, you know, how they're imposing themselves on the game. Turnover there, simple hands from Singleton in the middle of the field. Savannah Picton-Powell, and then, you know, like you said, a dummy to die for.
And this a little bit more old school shunt and grunts. May Sangapolu using her power just to muscle her way across the line. And the game started to really break up in the dying embers of that half. No more points coming, but we're within a score. How do you see it's going to unfold?
Well, it's interesting to know what are the conversations going on in the half-time changing rooms, because that try there came from building of pressure. You know, Loughborough doing their basics really, really well, imposing their power game, and they have got very, very powerful players onto the Bristol Bears, and who just couldn't withstand it in the end. So does Nathan Smith want more of the same? Does he want them to really get hold of this, or is he happy with a little bit of a looser play? Bristol Bears have been taking really good advantage of turnover ball. That's where a lot of their tries have come from, or at least creation of opportunities have come from, where Loughborough are scrambling in their defensive setup. Bristol Bears are having a look up, seeing space, moving the ball into that space, and then, you know, getting themselves over the try line. So a little bit of contrast in their styles, but it'll be interesting to see, as I said, what this next 40 is going to bring.
Right, guys, time to give you an opportunity to put the kettle on, or maybe fill a glass with something more fun. It is the weekend after all. We're going for a break. We'll have the second half for you soon.
New era.
Bristol Bears will win in the Prem.
Come on, Bears!
Bristol as a city absolutely loves rugby. They're passionate.
I love the uniqueness, I love the ambition, and I love the drive to succeed.
There's loads of skill on show. We take risks.
It's all about power, passion, being celebrated for who you are and inspiring other people to do the same.
Players to look out for: Sarah Byrne, Millie David, and Renika Bonner.
We want to grow the women's game. We're excited about it. We've got amazing people in place to help us to do so. So if you want to be entertained, get down to Ashton Gate.
We are Loughborough Lightning. This is our town. This is our home.
Loughborough have a young and community feel when it comes to the fans.
Strong. Fearless.
Electric. Ones to watch this season are Ala Latei and Sadia Kapea.
I'm going to bring this tackle, fast-paced, tries, good rugby.
New era.
There we go, we got our winner there, Ella.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And just to update you, the delayed kickoff was due to a spectator falling unwell. So they were being tended to as a priority. But thankfully, by the emergence of the teams, hopefully all is well. And we wish whoever that was the very best. And we can now re-steel ourselves for what promises to be a fascinating second half. And now we're probably a bit more rush for time now than we thought we were. So obviously the blunt question, the question that no one likes to be asked, who's going to win this, Susie?
And I'm not going to answer the question because it really could go either way. I think the game management is going to be critical now, isn't it? What are the game leaders going to have been saying to each other about how we manage these elements and just field position and that kind of stuff? And I think we'll find out a lot in these next 10 minutes.
Bit of housekeeping for you. Ella Lovibond failed her HIA, so she has been replaced by Jasmine Joyce. As far as we know, that is the only replacement. And change to the personnel. And the three-time Olympian gets an uncompromising carry under her belt nice and early. Little burst and Picton Powell on the shoulder. Oh, that's gorgeous. Full of instinct. Picton Powell finds the support. And can tell you that Sarah Byrne and Maisie Davis were out rallying the crowd at half-time to give their Bears a little more energy, and there's plenty of that in that attacking ambition, but a small error means it'll be Loughborough ball.
Yeah, and I love that. You see the touch from Savannah Picton Powell coming up there, just out the back to Abby Ward, makes a sensible decision to just go forward, and that one from Emma Orr, not quite got the comms right with Christine Balogun. So, yeah, handing Loughborough Lightning an exciting field position opportunity very early on in this second half.
Okay, back rows in. Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Well, the Bristol back row didn't engage there, strangely.
Okay, both sides. Oh, okay, both sides. She's not actually set before all right, sorry, apologies. All right, apologies.
There's a lot of conversations going on between these front rows.
Hannah Bottoman, part-time prop, full-time ref.
Absolutely.
Crouch! Bind! Sit! Hold that!
Take two.
Use it! All the way.
And a solid platform for Latui to feed Maud. Maud travelling with some runners around her. Skip inside from Lucia Scott. Awkward ball. They always say the bouncing pass is the toughest one to defend. And Maud, you wonder if she could have ghosted in that gap behind Bottoman. He is now scrabbling around for a turnover. Good carry from Rachel Ericke. Nelson, Sangapolu, just arriving out of the periphery of the Bears' defence, but doing well to stop her. Latui hit hard, finds her open side in Cabella, and then it's Scott. Loughborough in the groove. The quickest to find their feet after the elongated half-time. On Nelson, whacked, but got the ball away safely. Another short ball, and there's real purpose to these Lightning carries. Good footwork from Anne Young as Shaftesbury Park just try and inspire a bit more bites in the tackles from the Bears. Joyce Butchers has to watch that one very carefully and carried it across. So it'll be a 5-metre scrum to Lightning, and big pressure
Yeah, you see the build-up from Lightning there. They knew they had the penalty advantage, so they had free licence to play. So they did play several phases before. Helen Nelson, I could see her just spotting Jazz Joyce, just pushing up into that defensive line. So she just turns the ball, pushes it through, and a really nice attacking opportunity then. 5-yard scrum.
Everything square.
Kelter casts a look outside her. They're two hard-running centres, her and Morale.
We've seen already they're trying to get into that 13 channel, but not by sending Alev Kelter directly into it. Now, Emma Orr has marshalled that really well. She defended it really well, but will they go after that channel again? Will they have a little jump down the short side? Again, lots of conversations seem to be happening between Alev Kelter and Lucia Scott at 15.
We didn't have any issues at scrum time in the first half, but doesn't seem to be quite as well oiled since the break.
Hold there.
Alicia Maud travelling, Alicia Maud scoring. The mere threat of Morale and Kelter outside sufficient for the GB7's sniper to dart across and claim a sweet try at the start of this second half.
Yeah, and you can make comment of the centre field and the threat that they offered, but also Helen Nelson had taken herself into the short side. So the threat then, the question that was posed into the Bristol Bears' mind was, are they coming down the short side? And they defended that with numbers, and that's why Alicia Maud quite rightly take a little look and had a look up and had a little snipe herself. So really well taken try.
Helen Nelson, faultless to this point, maintains 100% record from the tee, and Loughborough Lightning take the lead.
Conversion for Lightning, number 10, Helen Nelson.
Going right, yeah? Okay, no, it's a bit behind you. Yeah, you ready?
Rehe Daman continues with the tactic of kicking long, and Matai Olga claims it cleanly, and then it's the turn of Sangapolu. She has got through a mountain of carries today, the tight head, and playing her part in the dominant scrum. Well, touched and then gathered by Lightning hands. That's why it wasn't offside. Daisy Hibbert-Jones finds half a hole. Now Lightning through Kelter. Sling it to the edge. Westcombe Evans looking for a bit of revenge against Reniqua Bonner. Gets dragged across the paint, but she'd already released. And then look at that clear out from Bonner, but in from the side.
Yeah, you can see the energy that Reniqua Bonner is bringing into this game, but just a little bit misdirected then.
Nice duel out there wide with Westcombe Evans, and then looking determined to drag her out. Local lass, Reniqua Bonner, grew up in Clevedon. Not many miles from here. There's a lot of sort of Bristolians through and through in the Bears ranks.
I thought you were just asking for Mark.
Certainly is, and we already touched on the pathway that's coming through. Filton College has been a great provider of, players coming through here. Amber Reid, having retired from playing, having had a fantastic playing career, she's now coaching Bristol Uni, and the plan would be to bring them up into Bucks level, into Super Rugby, and then the pathway starts to really produce players, and you start to grow your own, and that's what this league is wanting. We want to bring the players through from, college, school, all around this local Bristol area, and bring them through into Bristol Bears senior programme, and that's what they're starting to do really, really well.
Yeah, they're having a great season as well. They're seeking promotion, and there's a lot of unis who are wising up to the gift that is Bucks Super Rugby. I know that you profited as an Exeter chief from the link with Exeter University and Loughborough. It's difficult to name a name that hasn't been through their system. Brilliant product, and Carmela Morale was actually the player of the season across the league. Maud acting as a facilitator on this occasion. Jasmine Joyce Butchers, did she get a touch on that?
Yeah, no obvious touch.
No obvious one. What's her poker face like?
Yeah. Scrum. Yeah, advantage over from the kick, yeah.
And again, we talked about this game management. So they were playing with a scrum advantage only, which was going to then come of age, and he was going to call it over. So, and that in those moments, Bristol Bears, are they better off probably leaving the breakdown, not risking giving away a penalty and compounding, the opportunity for the Loughborough Lightning. But, fortunate there in the end result of the Bristol Bears getting the ball back. It feels like the Bristol Bears have got a slight breeze behind them in this half. So can they capitalise upon that? Can they look into the backfield and maybe demand, maybe Emma Orr start to probe a bit of space down where the 15, the fullback, Lucia Scott, who, bearing in mind, is a young player, has to marshal that whole backfield on her own.
Well, we're seeing there the mouth guard lighting up. You don't actually get to see it too often. You can see it, the red flashing light, and that is the indicator that there's been enough force to merit an HIA.
Okay, it's good.
And that's something that's becoming, used widely across men's and women's professional rugby now. What a bit of innovation. And looks like Eliane Clark has made way for Simi Pan. So, Simi Pan as in at loose head, and Hannah Bottoman has shifted across to tight head. And Evie Gallagher, for the first time, has a stable platform to launch. And Picton Powell puts a bit of air on it to Bonner, who dismisses Westcombe Evans and refuses to go down until Cabella is locked to her laces. Big carry arriving from Holly Cunningham. Real bumper. Physicality has been right up there throughout the entirety of the game, and the Bears finally rediscovering a bit of rhythm. Balogun plays through a hole by Deman. Millie Davids didn't get the ball cleanly, and it didn't come to her without going forward.
Just forward.
And that's a shame. That's a nice bit of pressure built by the Bears. They've actually only gained about 15 metres though. And again, what are these game leaders thinking? Are they thinking of taking easy metres with a kick? Or are they thinking of getting through these phases and hoping for a broken tackle somewhere?
Just with the floodlights being powered up and the sun going down, temperature dropping a little, and a couple of early delays. Some of the life has gone out of Shaftesbury Park just when the Bears, you feel, need it most. Latui unchallenged and slinging it from round the back of the tackle. Kelter on hand.
Just that
pause from Alicia Moore. Do you feel that Lightning thrive on tempo? They've also got Isla Curfey on there wearing 17, and
First one off blue in the rip, was that?
it's all a little messy.
Yeah. So the strip has gone forward.
And we'll have another scrum.
The strip, while you're a player on the attack player, the strip has gone forward, so it's a knock-on.
Yeah, you feel like these 10 minutes or so are critical for someone to take control of this game. Bearing in mind that Loughborough score came from one forced offload by Bristol Bears, which gave Loughborough back possession. They built pressure and they converted it into a score. So, you know, again, wondering what the messaging has been at half-time. It looked like Loughborough were trying to just slow the game down a little there so they could take control of it, move it onto their terms.
There is always a period in every game of rugby where both sides sort of lose that energy and it does become a bit flat, and you're looking for those players to reignite the intent. And Nelson runs with piercing purpose, snaking through the Bristol tackles until she is halted in shuddering fashion. Brilliant break from the playmaker Morale. Sends it a little deeper to Scott, who is hoisted up and sent to the ground pretty unceremoniously. Latui checks her step, but still finds half a metre to be made. Maud, Nelson, inside ball to Cabea from Caledine. Moving through their paces now, just an attempt to maybe buy a little cheeky penalty, but Herring not penalised. Loughborough now through the heart of the breakdown. There's real variety, but there are some sticky bear claws out there today. Another turnover penalty, and Herring at the bottom of the heap.
If you look at this replay here, you should. That's the original line break from Helen Nelson, which is lovely. But the speed to feet from Jenny Herring there to get back over and earn her side the jackal penalty was unbelievable. Absolute. Oh, here it is coming now. Speed to feet, straight over the ball.
Demand watches the ball skate across for a 50-22. It was an unkind bounce off the tip of an untrustworthy rugby ball. And it is a 50-22. Demand acknowledges she wasn't quite attuned to that. How about this?
Yeah, just take the edge here. We'll wait for your 9. We'll wait for your
You
9.
just can't trust the 4G, can you?
No, you really can't.
Would never have happened on good old-fashioned grass.
Will be a quagmire today after all the rainfall in the West Country.
Ives Campion just owns the airspace, and she is in some tangle there with Abby Ward. Teammate to the World Cup. Firm adversaries at Shaftesbury Park. And Loughborough opting to keep it in. Maud, Nelson, Westcombe Evans on that arc, almost slips through a hole, but a handful of jersey from Picton Powell. Loughborough closed down and shut down. Simi Pam there just trying to shepherd the Lightning attacks away, but still they come. Cabea, bit of footwork, but not much room to work with. A spoiling effort from the Bears, not good enough. And Maud now leaves it to the forwards. Sangapolu, 2 tries from similar range already this match. Cabea, Kelter, and the Eagle. Well, she doesn't soar, but she dive bombs to the line. And that is the bonus point try for Lightning. And that is the healthiest lead they've enjoyed all afternoon in the West Country.
Yeah, and again, it's really patient build up there by Loughborough Lightning, just doing the simple things really well. Powerful carries, good clear outs, ball on a plate for Alicia Maud to then be able to move the point of contact. And you're never going to stop a Lev Kelter from that close quarter. But again, back to the conversations behind the Bristol Bears sticks. Like, what are they saying to each other? There's some good leaders out there. What's Abby Ward saying to Hannah Bottoman? Rui Demand, you know, an international leader. How they're going to get themselves back in this game, which was very, very close at half-time. But since the half-time break, Loughborough have really come out and really imposed themselves on this second half.
She's 4 from 4, Nelson, from the tee, but I feel that she has had a really big hand in driving the attack, particularly in this second half. There's been a real zip to the way that she has tried to bring others into the game around her and herself also challenge the line.
Absolutely. That last change of momentum came from herself and her initial line break.
Much to do for Bristol Bears, who now trail by 9. Cabella just pumping the pistons, leaving Bears trailing in her wake. Millie David just removes her legs from the equation, and off goes Lucy Calladine. So nimble on the turn. Ball out, good spot from Gallagher. She's in a tussle, but Lightning hold on. Sangapolu, the decoy on this occasion. Hibbert Jones. Picton Powell, busy again in felling Lightning players. Nelson, inside option, Kelter. If she can squeeze it to Scott, she's there. And Lucia Scott sears into the 22. Numbers outright. Nelson on the swerve. Morale just dragged down as it looked like she was ghosting through. The Tui straight into contact. Takes 3 Bears to drop her down. Then Curfew arrives late. Not sure it was intended for her, but she held on. Calm descends before the drive. The power takes Lightning close. The penalty was there. Abby Ward infringing.
Yeah, see Loughborough Lightning just moving through the gears at the moment, playing really well off each other, looking for little offload opportunities. Alicia Maud is really enjoying ball on a plate. Very, very quick ruck speed that Loughborough enjoying right now. So here comes that little inside ball to Alev Kelter. Little bit of footwork, and you see this fabulous footwork from Lucia Scott, which is what we've heard so much about prior to today. Again, that ball on a plate. Alicia Maud, lovely little fix up from Helen Nelson just to put Morel into space.
Brilliant tackle from Orr to deny it. Just come back to Lucia Scott. How she broke both her hands ahead of the World Cup. Broke one in the warm-up, and then the other one in the actual game that she was playing. Desperately unlucky, but making up for lost time at the moment. And imagine what particularly exciting as well, having moved from Edinburgh where she was playing Celtic Challenge to now be down, and all of this is a new experience, and that in itself brings a fresh energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a very, very good young player out there, isn't there? Yeah, I read that article about her injuries. Oh, here we go.
Sangapolu, rinse, repeat, and held up. Bears learn their lesson and Jenga as many bodies as they can underneath the big USA prop.
Okay. For me? Sorry.
Loughborough Lightning with the bit between their teeth. Matayonga skates past one, then meets Emma Orr, and then how many turnovers is that in the game for Bristol Bears?
Yeah, lots for Emma Orr, lots for a Scotland teammate. Evie Gallagher, but that moment is really, really important, you feel, in terms of momentum swings.
Well, Bristol feel slightly in survival mode there, and they get some breathing space almost up to the halfway line.
On your front, it's fine.
But moments like that really buoy your teammates.
The bullet there into the hands of what looks like Seren Singleton, who's on for her first taste of PWR action this season. Another Cardiff Met product, and Amy Dale barrels over the challenge of Alav Kelter. Line speed is unrelenting. Sangapolu, both sides of the ball. Ives Campion working hard out there too. Singleton, the man. And a nice bit of territory gained, and Bears beginning to play their rugby in the areas that they would rather prefer.
Okay, Bristol, edge here. One Bristol replacement on this edge here.
Yeah, it's nice to see young Seren Singleton come onto the field. Just chatting to Sean Lynn as he passed by us earlier. He's very, very impressed with the young talent that's coming through, and she is one of the key names on his list.
Right, keep going. All right. Tackle!
Haini Ala-Lutui led the carry count heading into this round, and she hasn't even played every round, but Sangapolu is making a good tilt at deposing her at the top of the rankings with this performance this evening. Kelter, almost as tough to bring down herself. Through the centre they go, but feathered forward in the process.
Yeah, Sandra on. Loughborough 9 replaced.
Loughborough 9, that is Alicia Maud. Fabulous game from Alicia Maud. Megan Davey, who has well over 100 appearances now for the Lightning, coming on to replace her.
Okay, let's go.
Again, little error, and it's given Bristol Bears a much-needed opportunity for an attacking scrum.
Bears' injury list at the moment is remarkable. Lana Skelton, Holly Phillips, Renita Marston-Mulhern, Rhea Clark, Meryl Smith as well, hopefully expected back in the new year. Phoebe Murray, Jenna De Vera, and obviously Sarah Byrne and Alicia Joyce Butchers not out there as well today. And this is really, surely, it's going to test these young players, and if you're looking for silver linings, irrespective of the outcome, this is going to make them better players.
Yeah, and you have to take it as an opportunity, don't you? You know, it's unfortunate for all those players to be off the field, for Scott Lawson to step into a new role and have to kind of marshal his troops when, you know, you haven't got lots of senior players to look to.
Good timing.
However, what an opportunity for the young players that are getting to play.
Tackles continue to rain in from the Bears. Jazz Joyce Butchers nutmegged from 50 metres.
Bristol retreats! Keep coming.
Sending one down the tram lines where Nelson's waiting, and Nelson is just oozing confidence, but it doesn't matter how much confidence you've got. If you've got Jazz Joyce Butchers swinging around your hips like that, you ain't running no more.
Tackle, fight, move.
Morale. Matayonga, really busy style of winger. Megan Davey spots a bit of undefended grass. The chase is on, and it sat up a dream for Lucia Scott.
Knock on, is it in touch as well? Knock
Oh, is that an opportunity lost?
Knock on.
And, you know, these, we talked about opportunities.
Loughborough 2-3-5.
You know, miss kick to touch, give Loughborough back the ball. Little nudge over the top from Davey. And it almost looked like Demant was urging it to go into touch, but Lucia Scott is chasing everything. And if that kicks up, she's over the line. So these young players, we've talked about them a lot today. They are oozing energy, they're oozing enthusiasm and the desire to get involved in games, get involved in key moments. And, you know, just a little knock on there gives Bristol a little let off.
So Lucy Calladine replaced by Catherine Tredder,
Crouch!
who scored a try off the bench against Quins in the opening night.
Out the tunnel. Out the tunnel.
And straight out the tunnel,
It's come straight out the tunnel before that. All right, let's go again.
which is one of the rules that every schoolboy and girl knows, because it happens so frequently when you're growing up. When it's the 3-on-3 scrums, it comes out of the tunnel, and you think you're away, always get called back, don't you?
Let's go. Guys, let's keep that gap. Just get your head space in the gap, and let's keep that gap. Let's go, Isla. All day.
I tell you, with the right ref's mic in my ear, you can hear Sadia Kabea. She's relentless, not in the way she plays, but also just in the way she plays, but also she never stops talking and energizing her troops.
Scrum disintegrates somewhat, and South Picton Powell is asked to make some uncomfortable meters. Hurriedly, touch found, and Bears just can't escape their own 22 at the moment.
And some of it's on them, you know, Joe, just unforced errors, missed kicks to touch that they'll be ruined. And you've made mention of some key names, haven't you? You're bringing a scrum half off the bench who's got over 100 caps for a club. You're bringing off an international hooker who's playing for the USA. So, you know, these players will be having an influence in what happens next in this game.
They're trying to energise their team here at Shaftesbury Park. Simi Pam, first carry for her since coming on. She's such an explosive presence with the ball in hand. And there, Gwennon Hopkins fighting on through. Well, they're bailing out water at the moment, Bears, and every time they break free, the ball is into the hands of Lightning, who launch a fresh assault, targeting the short side, targeting Morale, who links up with Kelter tight to the touchline and demonstrates her strength in staying in field. Then it's the turn of Talia Brody. Nelson, ball on a string, just picking her passes. Lutsui running at tired shoulders, dragging two Bears with her.
Yeah, just let me know.
Hibbert Jones, wave after wave of African Violet. Kelter just popped through a hole by Davey. He's brought a freshness to the way that Lightning are attacking. Another big hit from Balogun. Tireless defence from the Bears. But they're being asked to go to the well here.
Back foot, push. Clear back foot, Bristol, clear back foot.
They don't mind tucking out their jumper, Loughborough Lightning.
18, tight hand.
And they win a penalty too.
Back foot! New advantage, offside.
They scramble
line.
to the shadow of the uprights. Carry after carry. The Bears just navigate their bodies underneath the ball. It's no try. It will be a penalty, and it may just be a card.
It's twice in a row we've had players in front of the back foot looking to go. You can speak to them. 18, and then the head guard, the pink. Quickly. Pink. Okay, girls, what we doing? Daisy, points, posts. Stay on there. It's either there or just in front, so it's pretty much in between here. There. Just there. So I've got a bit more than that. So 30 played. I've got, yeah.
Well, bonus point in the bag. The points on offer. Too easy to turn down. Never in doubt from Nelson. And the comeback task has got that bit taller for the Bears at home. And there's real daylight for Loughborough now.
2, 5 and 12, girls. Bristol, 2, 5 and 12. Just wait till we get these replacements. 2, 5 and 12.
Well,
2, 5
the lead
and 12,
has been stretched, but it is still a two-score game. 2 converted scores. That'd be sufficient.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah, and Bristol have to go back to the basics, back to getting hold of the ball, doing the simple things really, really well to give themselves an opportunity to build pressure. They just haven't had any opportunity in the Loughborough half since half-time.
And Loughborough don't seem too keen on them spending any time. Cabea just explodes like a rocket through the challenges, seeks support, finds it on the right in the form of Treader. And this could be the match if Lightning can line up their ducks. Nelson along the chain, but the last pass to Matayonga, only finding the touchline.
I tell you what, I'm not sure what happened in that Loughborough changing room, but, you know, whatever they took, I think we needed a bit of that at half-time, didn't we?
I think we've been pretty lively throughout the entire 73.
Sadia Cabea has come out on absolute fire, and that in turn I talked about the way she, you know, galvanises her squad around her.
Gallagher does well to take it, and then from the suboptimal start just finds a way to make some ground.
Bristol, stop!
Matayonga just misjudges the bounce, and it's a chance for the Bears to steam up and maybe shut Lightning down. One dummy from Lucia Scott. The sliding door slam. But a penalty for not rolling away means that Ice Campion will link up with Hibbert Jones, all the while with a penalty in the pocket. Jazz Joyce Butchers takes down the back row. Looked painful. And Ice Campion has had a big second half. Been involved in a lot of good stuff here.
Still advantage.
Davey whips it away. Morale. Hibbert Jones increasingly prominent in the closing stages as Lightning look to put this one to bed. Kelter. Isla Curfey. Bench continues to bring energy, and Bristol continue to infringe. Scott, well, no way through that hole. Balogun making absolutely short. Nelson for the crossfield, on the toe, but too much on it. Just while we can catch our breath, I should say that the Built for Athletes Player of the Match poll is now live on YouTube. You've got 4 players to choose from. You have Emma Orr and Evie Gallagher of the Bristol Bears, and you have May Sangapolu and Helen Nelson of Loughborough Lightning. So 3 and 10 from Lightning and 13 and 8 from Bristol Bears. So get voting for our Built for Athletes Player of the Match. Those 4 chosen by Susie. It's an easy ride these days. You don't even have to pick the Player of the Match. That's the worst job of being a co-com.
I tell you what, though, in these last 10 minutes, I could have picked a raft of Loughborough Lightning players who have really, really started to, you know, we talked about them being young and energetic, but they've started to really bring silky smooth skills into the game, you know, rucking skills, powerful carry. Sadia Kabea, nobody can touch at the moment. Morale is just breaking tackles for fun. So, you know, I think Bristol are just struggling a bit, they're just tiring a bit, and it's really allowing Loughborough to really impose themselves on this game.
Lightning just one win in 3 years over the Bristol Bears. They came here in February to arrest a run of 5 straight defeats in all competitions. They might just get a second in the calendar year here tonight, again in Bear Country. Shaftesbury Park try to energise their women one last time. It'll take a minor miracle. Winning clean line-out ball is a good start.
6 out there, 4 out there, same ball, back foot only. That's 1-9, same ball, play on, same ball.
Tough, gritty meters being made. And the ball safely to ground. Seren Singleton, Rurehe Daman, Emma Raw rips one. Jazz Joyce Butchers. Everyone just edges a little closer to the edge of their seat when she's on the ball. Singleton, oh, that is a crunching blow from Ives Campion. Aisha Jar, immense prospect. Balogun sees the ball pass behind her with a little too much. And Simi Pam just goes foot to the floor. Bears almost find a hole. The Lightning defence has been impressive this evening. Millie David has barely been given a breath. Suffocating African violet blanket. Still no way through across the halfway line. And then, as if the 15 women in African violet aren't enough, they then use the 16th defender, muscled across the touchline. And this game will be Loughborough's tonight.
Yeah, and you've talked about there, you know, how, well, I've been talking about in the last 10 minutes how they've really been carrying well, doing the simple things well. But that was a suffocating, you used the word there, wall of violet that Bristol were finding themselves facing. And there was no way through.
Well, right on the extremity of straights. But we play. Matayonga. Lightning look like they could play another 80 minutes at the moment, don't they? They're just full of beans. Loving life on these blades of artificial grass here in the West Country. But if there's going to be one thing that the Bears will take away from this, is that no one turns ball over like the Bristol Bears. Evie Gallagher right at the heart of it once more. Touch missed. Westcombe Evans winds herself up. Simi Pan and Balogun both involved. How many tackles has Balogun made tonight?
Okay, mate. Leave now, feet.
Unrelenting competitive edge of both of these teams, and a bit of brilliance off the boot.
Advantage.
Hibbert Jones loses it in the contact. There was already one from the bare claw, and well, our clock is in the red, but we're a little ahead of time.
Just here, Mike. Just there.
Tell you what, Joe, just as we have discussed pre-match, we expected a free-flowing, really good game of rugby, and that is exactly what we've just watched for 78 minutes here. Both teams that really wanted to play, came out, wanted to move the ball, some really good individual performances, and, a much, much improved performance from Bristol, and Loughborough massively on the ascendancy in the way they're going in this in their trajectory this season.
So HIA.
Well, we lose one of the standout performers for the Bears, one of our player of the match, built for athletes, player of the match contenders in Emma Orr. There are positives here for the Bears to take, really bright ones. But as it stands, there'll be no points for them to take. A try now would be massive. Could take them.
Easy, guys.
It would take them to within 7, and they'd get the try bonus. So there is an awful lot to play for in this final stanza.
No one deserves a reward day, girls.
It certainly is. I don't think Loughborough are going to stop playing anytime soon. So
I don't think they're inclined to surrender possession with that in mind.
Yeah. Crouch! Bind! Set! Hold there. Stay at the tunnel, stay at the tunnel.
Davey to Nelson, who ends the match. And for all their quality, having struck just twice so far this season, Lightning have a 3rd win of the campaign. It is a maximum 5 match points. They've denied Bristol anything in the process. It was a match where Lightning came alive in the second half, shut out their opposition, and this will be well celebrated on the bus back to the Midlands. And Susie Appleby, it's time to talk your Built for, well, it's the Built for Athletes player of the match. She gave 4 options. The people have spoken. Will you please reveal?
Yeah, and I think she really grew into the second half and marshalled her team around the field, drove them, really brought her forwards into the game and her backs into the game, and the Built for Athletes player of the match, quite deservedly so, is Helen Nelson.
Well, she was one of those Lightning players who looked like they wanted to play all the way through the night. They seem to have found a 6th and a 7th gear in the closing 10 minutes, and almost a lightness and effortless joy in the way they were pinging the ball around and interlinking. And that is a big win for Lightning after the performances of Trailfinders and Harlequins on Saturday. They re-established themselves towards the playoff end of the table. Right, loads of highlights for us to enjoy, so let's feast our eyes on the lot of them. And, well, it seems a long time ago, doesn't it, that we were calling in Reniqua Bonner's try. And this first half, it was all about Bristol, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was, especially the opening 20 minutes. Loughborough could hardly get their hands on the ball, but they were making the most of opportunities. This is their first entry into the attack in 22, and we talked about it earlier, but it's a soft try from Bristol's perspective, but a good, powerful surge from May Sagapulu, and over she goes to equal the scores.
What do you think it is, though? Do you think that the Lightning started quietly, or that Bears sort of hit their heights and then they weren't able to maintain it. Where do you see the shift in the dominance in this game? What were the key factors?
I think there's Loughborough Lightning are building into the season, like we just talked about. They've got a good, strong squad now. They're able to field internationals off the bench, which is massive. When you can have a squad of 23 and you're confident in any of them to make the starting shirt and any of them to come on and continue the job, you have real confidence in an 80-minute performance. And I think we saw in the second 40 what Loughborough Lightning are becoming and how, when they're at their best, no one can really touch them. They're very, very impressive. So, it's nice to see them growing into becoming the competitive force that we know they've always been. But, a very, very strong second 40 from the visitors, and quite rightly just pushing their way up into the top 4 now. And I think we'll see more of the same as they build into next week and into the new year.
There was the second of the 2 May Sangapolu tries, and you can tell, not just by the direction of travel, but the light disappearing, that come the nighttime second half, it is when the Lightning lit up, because after that Alicia Maud score, Bears never truly recovered, and you have to doff your defensive cap to them because they're repelling wave after wave of African violet jersey. And I just wonder, we've sort of spoken there, Susie, about how exciting it is for Loughborough Lightning, but what about the Bears? Where do they go from this?
I think they're definitely building. They were dealt a pretty harsh deck of cards in terms of their injury counts, coming back, returning from the World Cup, and in losing so many leaders and key players, you then have to rely on the rest of your squad. Now, Scott Lawson was new into the Bears, and he's done a fantastic job. We can see him start to bring his kind of mark into the game. There was a Bristol DNA, a Bristol way of playing, which we saw probably in the opening 25 minutes, and it's still very much there, but they're blending that with a nice touch of kicking game, a bit of variety into the game, and they're starting to find a little bit of groove, and they'll get better and better. They'll get injured players back, and again they'll build, and they are a good side, and they'll get back to being a very good side. We saw moments today, we'll see more of the same, and I hope they take a lot of positivity from today.
And then just thinking about sort of Loughborough Lightning, and it also lends itself to the Bristol Bears. So both these sides have seen a bit of churn in terms of the personnel, and we've spoken, we've mentioned many times about the youthfulness of Loughborough Lightning. You might have lost some great players, you might have lost a Skaz, but there is something powerful about being a young group who are emerging, and they have got the right and the license to do it their way. And I sort of got that feel from them out there, that there is a freedom, that they are carving their own path.
I think there's a freedom in young players today, and you can see it all across the league. You can see it in Ealing Trailfinders yesterday, Leicester Tigers, Quins are showing moments of it, and obviously at the top of the table they're expressing themselves. But you mention all the names that we've been talking about all afternoon, the willingness, Renika Bonner, what she wants to do, she wants to tackle Jackal, she wants to carry, she wants to do all the aspects of the game that she's seen people do on the telly. And that's the thing, she's seen players doing it, leading the way, and now the young players are doing it themselves. Savannah Picton-Powell, what a wonderful young player we've seen out on the turf today. And then others coming through, and it's a classic strapline, if you can see it, you can be it. But it's so true. It's so true. And if she can do that, if she can go and express herself, I'm going to do exactly the same. And they have confidence to do it and the license to do it. And that's what the coaching, all the support staff are giving them the empowerment to be able to do these wonderful things.
Exciting times. Right. We've had a full weekend of PWR action this week. And let's have a little recap about how it's gone down across the league. Gloucester Hartpury have had their feet up, probably drinking Mo Hunt and Zoe Stratford's coffee, and why look at what's been? Let's look at the future, eh? We've got Quins against Bristol Bears. That's going to be a tough game for Bristol, but also Sale pushing Quins so hard yesterday. Sale welcoming Saracens, they seem to be flying high. Lightning Trailfinders, that feels like that's got a lot of tries in it. And then Tigers, resurgent Tigers, there's no tougher task than welcoming undefeated triple champions Gloucester Hartbury, but they're going to empty the tank, I'm sure, at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. Right, Susie Appleby, it's been an absolute pleasure to spend Sunday evening with you on this match. You'll come and join us again, won't you?
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
You absolutely will. And you guys will come and join us again, I'm sure. PWR round 7 done and dusted. We're no clearer to knowing who's going to raise that crown or even be in the playoffs. But one thing we can guarantee you in the next round is plenty of excitement. So come join us. Don't miss it.